extra amount just so you can stay relevant and get your things back going so that you can sign a new deal, a new contract, and you get your money then. But that's the reason why 50 wasn't broke. It wasn't that he was bankrupt. It was basically what he was doing was he was restructuring his contract so that he can do, it's what they call in Chapter 11 is when you don't sell your assets. You basically put everything on pause so that your companies can do a restructuring within. And the restructuring is, okay, we're going to rebuild the brand. We're going to X this out. We're going to do this new. These are what restructurings is. There's different levels of bankruptcy. And basically it's a stalling game so that when your money you've been waiting for finally hits, you have those funds available to pay your bills. And if you think it doesn't work, what do you think America economy is running off of? Message. Did you know how many people the World Bank, here's another jewel for you. Do you know how many people America owes? That central bank and everything that they're talking about? That's not the Bank of America. No. Those are other people, other investor, private-owned institutions that fund the world's economy through interest and points, this and that. And those are the people that we own. And those are our creditors. Those are the reasons why we're in debt.
Wow.
In taxes, one year, for example, we made $1.2 trillion in taxes just from the revenue of you paying your taxes. That's what America recruits. However, in that year that they recouped that taxes, we were already $6.5 trillion in debt. So every time you sit here in layman's terms and say, okay, hey, man, I need a tax cut, man, it helps you, but it kills you in the long run because now the dollar depreciates in value. Now the things go up because of that tax break. But, Ross, what do you think about it, man? I mean, I'm getting too technical for it, you know what I'm saying? So I got to, what do you think about it, man?
Man. I mean, everything you was saying with the tax break and all that, I mean, you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, we have to look at things when it comes to damn, I lost my train of thought. God damn.
It's a lot, man. I will say that it's a lot when you're throwing everything together because, you know, it's like one thing leads into another and it's amazing because, and it all is relevant to the subject because a lot of artists, they're in debt because they don't pay their taxes. They take that money, they don't keep their budgeting low, they go over budget. That's from their initial advance. And then at the end of all of this, these advances are stuff that you have to pay taxes on. So when you don't budget your money right and you got a tax debt, that's why all the major artists, they got tax debt problems because they took that advance and spent it. They didn't have an accountant to sit down with them and say, look, your advance is $100,000. Off that $100,000, yes, or off that $1 million, $500,000 you might well put to the side because that's going in taxes. Federal government's going to come after you because of that. So what you need to do is structure yourself and your company, your brand name and everything to basically to work off of $500,000 and get everything done in production and everything concerning yourself as an album. Get it done with this. That way you can pay back the label because you didn't use a greater portion of the budget. You went under budget, so, you know, you only took out a smaller line of credit. And then you have money at the end of the year or whenever, however it is you pay taxes. You have money to actually recuperate and pay your taxes, because if you go years and years and years continuing the same process of not paying your taxes, then you can get hit with federal charges, which is tax evasion, and tax evasion comes with federal time.
God damn. It's just, so basically what you're saying is just make sure you stay within budget and you'll be all right.
Pretty much.
Because if not, you're gonna be. You like
platinum, right?
Right.
They got some ones for you. I'm gonna let you know. To anybody who's been in jail, they'll let you know right now. They'll be like, you be up there, you be like, I can do the time, and the Fed, they give you time in months. They don't break it down in years. They'll say, you know what? We're gonna give you. You're guilty. We find you guilty of this. We're going to give you 500 months. Now, to the average person, they thinking, shit, that ain't nothing. Till you go back in that cell. Till you bust that calendar out. And you realize 500, there's 12 months in a year.
Mm-hmm.
500, hold up. Hold up. If 100 months, if 120 months, if that's 10 years, hold on, times 5. Oh, Lord, yeah. That's when you start crying.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That time hits you, and that's when people like Meek Mills, sorry, I didn't say that. That's when people start crying and start going for them deals and stuff. Because the Fed, they don't care. They don't care. And you're going to serve every single day. Every single day.
So artists out there, you need to really pay attention on what you're getting yourself into, because you really got to understand that you want to be in this type of business. You got to know what you're doing. You got to set yourself up with people that know what they're doing, so you can kind of have a decent deal to at least live. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to give everything, but you got to know what you're signing, because you hear all these artists come into the game and they all got the same story. Oh, I was ripped off in my early stages of my career. I didn't know no better. I was young, this, and the third. But you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta.
Huh? There's two sides to every story.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, okay, look at it like this, bro. If you live in the hood, if you live in the hood, if you live in the hood, right?
Yeah.
You talented. You got a lot of people in your ears telling you, yo, you can make it. You can make it. You good. And you know that, you can go far with it, and you get an opportunity to get signed, and you working a fast food gig, and you ain't really making no change. So when somebody come to you and say, look, I can make you $1 millionaire, all you gotta do is sign this contract. You ain't thinking about all the in-betweens in that contract. All you hear was the $1 million. So the first thing is you're going to say, shit, where the pen at? I'm going to sign this. You ain't thinking all the technical that can go between all that with that contract.
Matter of fact, you know what? They ain't listening to us. They're not understanding us. So you know what? We going for your entertainment and pleasure and listening and knowledge. We got somebody who's actually a marketing, he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer that helps structure your deals and everything. And he's very, very good. he's structured. He's worked with a lot of clients in the music business industry, and he actually dropped us a jewel. You know what I'm saying? On what basically to look for with sitting down at the table with these record execs and stuff, dealing with your 360 deal, because nobody really does a traditional deal. Except for Koch. Koch, Koch, I will say this, Koch Records, if you own your name, I know this for sure, they will work with you on your deal. That's why Jim Jones, for example, made so much money off of that bowling. Made so much money off of that because they're a label that deals with just your name. They'll put the money up and recoup it on the end, and it's not, they're trying to make money off of everything on you. But needless to say, we're going to play the clip, man. Let them hear it from a professional who has a degree in this and who actually, deals with this every single day. Live right here on the Universal Underground Radio's network, The Underground Show.
5 red flags to look for in a recording contract. The first red flag is the term of the deal. That would be the number of albums or the number of years you're committed to the record label. The second red flag is no commercial release commitment on the part of the label. The third red flag is no promotional or marketing commitment on the part of the label. The fourth red flag is how 360 income is defined and what percentage the label takes of 360 income. And the fifth red flag is no exit strategy for the artist, meaning if the label does not meet its commitments, how do you as the artist get out of the deal? Talking about the red flags in more detail, the first red flag is the term of your deal. That is, again, the number of albums that you are committed to the label for or the number of years you're committed to the label for. You always want to have a full understanding of the term of the deal, but you also want to try to have that term limited as much as possible. Because unless you limit the deal, the label has very little incentive to renegotiate later for better terms for you. The second red flag is no commercial release commitment on behalf of the label. And that is just as it sounds. That means that every deal you sign should have a commitment from the record label to release either a commercial single or a commercial album on the artist within a specified period of time. I typically recommend no later than the longer of 24 months. The third red flag is no marketing or promotional commitment on behalf of the label. In the vast majority of record deals, the record label has no financial commitment or financial budget set out for the marketing and promotion of the individual artist. However, as the artist, you want to fight for that. You want to have your attorney fight for that. Because say you're signed in January, and in January you're the hottest artist in America. You get a great deal, you get a great advance, and you're hot, you're riding high, you have a single. Now you start working on your album. Your album may take you 12 to 18 months to record. So by the time your album is ready for release, it's Christmas of the next year, almost 2 years after you were signed. By then, trust me, the label has already signed the next hottest artist of that year, and he likely has a commitment for a larger marketing and promotional budget than you will have as the guy who was hot 2 years ago. So you want to make sure that in your initial deal, there's a commitment for a specified amount of marketing and promotional dollars devoted exclusively to your project. The fourth red flag, which probably is the most important in today's record industry, is how 360 income is defined. You may be asking yourself, what's 360 income? 360 income is what the labels take now to make up for their shortfalls in record royalties. So whereas in the past you didn't have to share your performance royalties or your performance monies, now they get a percentage. They get a percentage of your publishing. They get a percentage of your merchandise. Essentially, any way that you can make money as an artist in relation to the name that the label is promoting for you, they take a percentage of. You want to make sure that this 360 income definition is limited as much as possible. You want to exclude as many areas as you can. Fight for taking merchandise out. Fight for